Buttons, everyone, and welcome back to Buttoncraft Season Button. Wait a minute, mouth and brain disconnected. Yeah, I've been quite literally dreaming about placing buttons in Minecraft, guys. I'm losing my mind in this Wither skeleton farm, but we're getting really close. It's almost finished. Just a few more steps to go, my friends. One of which, unfortunately, involves placing more buttons, but we're not placing any more buttons today. I've been placing buttons for the entire week. We're going to do something much more interesting to kick this episode off. This is the Auto Chick 9000. It has just been delivered by GIGACORP. It's a fantastical, wonderful machine that makes chicken eggs. Yes, lots of chicken eggs. In fact, 3 shulker boxes worth of chicken eggs, which is exactly what we're going to need. Unfortunately, I can't get into them. Okay, this machine needs a little bit of work. Clearly, the GIGACORP engineers did not think this one through very much, did they? Oh my goodness. I'm sending this back. 0 out of 5 review on gigacorp.com. Not an actual website. Chickens. Yes, we need them. In fact, we're going to need quite a lot of them because today we're going to try and create a bunch of wither roses. The reason that we need wither roses is because they're a huge, important part of taking our wither skeleton farm to the next level. This week, I've spent the last 5 days or so placing over 55,000 buttons in a 128 by 128 radius around our skull farm. And every button that I have placed has been slowly increasing the spawn rates of the farm. However, at the moment, we're spawning all the different types of mobs. Wither skeletons, zombified pigmen, blazers, and skeletons with bows, which is a huge problem for this farm because it turns out the skeletons with the bows eventually end up killing the golem in the center of the farm, which is unfortunate. So, it's pretty simple. We want our spawning platforms to be the only place that mobs can spawn within our 128 by 128 farm radius. And we only want wither skeletons to spawn. And to do that, we just need to fill our spawning platforms with wither roses, which means we need to make some wither roses. Oh, and you might be wondering, why does Rendog suddenly know so much about wither skeleton farms? And no, it's not because I'm an amazing technical Minecrafter. It's because I'm trying to learn more about technical Minecraft, and I've been putting a lot of effort into learning a little bit more about these types of farms and how they function. And at one point, I was ready to just give up on placing the buttons, but I went over to Iskall, who's a very good redstoner, and I asked him, why do I have to place buttons on every single block in the 128 by 128 radius? I've placed over 50,000 buttons by now. Can I just stop? And Iskall was like, no, hold my drink. I'll explain to you exactly why you have to button up every spawnable space. And, well, you know what? I'll hand it over to Iskall to explain. It's kind of complicated. Okay, wait, hold on. What's going on here? Explain.
Okay, so you come to an area, you want to make a mob farm.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, and your mob farm is these, you want to make, here's your mob farm.
Okay.
So here's what you get. And as you can see, the world consists of a lot of other pillars that you don't get. When you remove one pillar here by buttoning, so when you, instead of having a pillar, you say, I'm going to have a button here.
Okay.
And block those spawn spaces. Now you have these 3 in this case that gets allocated elsewhere. And yeah, you'll get one more here, you get one more here, you get one more here. All right?
Okay.
But now you're killing off the bottom here constantly because that's what your farm does. So now these 3 that you had originally gets reallocated again with the same premises. So this time it gets allocated here, here, and here. And all of a sudden your farm is garbage. Now you kill off this and we got to reallocate that somewhere. And so we reallocate it here. Boom. Boom. Mm-hmm. And now all of a sudden your farm is dead. And this is what you see in a lot of farms. The longer you're there, the more it dies.
That's what happens.
So
yeah.
At this point in time, you can unload the area and come back, and you will have the state as it was.
Yep.
Like this. But now let's say that you button every single space off. Or let's go stepwise. Let's say that you now button off.
Let's do 50%. Or even more.
Or even more.
I think I'm past 50% now. I'm probably at like 70% or 80%. Yeah.
Sure, yeah. So let's say that you're here right now. Okay?
Yep.
So think about it this way. You kill off these 3 here. Okay, so now you get 3 new spawns. Well, you get 1 here. Yep. And again, we're going to allocate the others here. And you stay here, you kill this one again. Okay, maybe this time you actually get another one, which is where you see
you'll have a 1 in 3
rates.
chance to get your spawn here or here or here.
Yeah, but over time, as long as there is a single other area it can spawn over time, because you are only focusing there and killing those off constantly, over time you're going to fill up that last space that exists, which is why I said to you, once you place that last button, it is as if it just turns on. Because now, when you place the last button, every single spawn attempt, every single cycle is always going to be beneficial for you. Yeah.
And then two things happen, right? Like, every spawn happens here, and when I add the wither roses to the spawn platforms, it'll only be withers, skeletons. It just goes brrrr. And then you also, as a redstoner, get the kick in the brain that you made a machine work mathematically perfectly. And this is like this is a feeling you can't explain to somebody that doesn't like doing redstone. You know?
Yeah, it's like the feeling when you finish watching a time lapse of someone else building something ginormous, and that last layer comes in and just makes it satisfying. It's a huge feeling, and I agree, it's hard to explain.
Oh, I was having a debate with somebody with stream last night. I wanted to get your opinion. I was calling this farm redstone, not because there's redstone, the block or the stuff, but because redstone to me is more of a method than a physical thing. Do you agree with this? Like, would you call the Wither Skeleton farm redstone from a thematic position?
No, I would call it a technical build versus a build. I would only refer to redstone as the actual wire and the buttons.
Okay,
I get what you mean, though. I get fully what you mean, but I just define it as technical versus non-technical.
Okay, so if I installed a filter system at the bottom that filtered the bones, the skulls, and the coal, can I then call my Wither Skeleton farm redstone?
Yes. Yes, now it's redstone.
Okay. Sweet.
No, I fully get what you mean. There's one more analogy that I want to do with the mob farm, which I think is very important. So in your Wither Skeleton farm, and this is why I said it's so important that you do more platforms. You should actually be thinking actual blocks, okay? Now you have a platform in this Wither Skeleton farm, and let's consider that platform being something like 21 by 21. Could that be correct?
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. Okay, out of those 21, so that's 21 times 21. We're going to open a calculator here. Let's see, 21 times 20. It's 441 spots. Okay.
Yep, available spots for spawnage, right?
Out of that, you also have walls, which removes quite a few of them. Let's say that it removes 40 spots. So let's say that per platform you have 400 spawn spaces.
Yep, available spots.
Now go back to my other bars that I did, right?
You know what? It might even be less than that, hey? Less than 400.
It might be, but let's say
go
400.
with 400. Okay, let's go with 400. Yeah.
So the way you should look at this is, for every spawning spot that you give Minecraft, you are competing with every other non-button block. It's as simple as that. So every button you put down, you're favoring those 400. You're not saying that they should spawn there until you put the last button down. Okay. See how that makes sense?
Yes.
So we talked about these pillars, and it's much easier to understand that, one thing is buttoning. The other thing is, of course, to increase the pillars that you work with. So let's say that I have 3 pillars that favors me instead of 1.
Yes.
Well, now all of a sudden, we have tripled the efficiency of the farm.
I see.
And that's why I said to you, please, Ren, make sure that when you're done with the buttons, give yourself more than those 400 spaces, because Minecraft is going to attempt more than those 400 spaces.
Okay.
And when you do, you are tripling the effect of this farm. And it's very simple. You just copy the same design, put the golem in the middle, and boom, done.
Yep. Another layer above and below, right?
Yes. But you have to raise the one you have up by 1. It has to be up by 1.
Oh, because it has to be in the Nether Fortress spawn box or whatever.
The Nether Fortress has a spawn box, exactly.
Yes,
and
gotcha.
It's going to be wrong if it's where you are now. You can't go down if you are where you are now. Gotcha. But this is to illustrate how important every single button is. You have 400 spawning spaces. Every button you place, when you place 400 buttons down, and no other buttons, now you've just removed the amount of spawning spaces that you've added. When you place 56,000 down, you see what I mean?
Yep.
Say that you still have 4,000 to go. That's not a lot when you place 56,000. Say that you have 4,000 buttons to go. You see that is still what is that? Your spawning spot is still just 10% of what it could be. That's how important every button is, and that should answer your question, should I button the whole thing?
Yes, that makes a lot of sense. Like, even though it is 56,000 buttons, it's relative to the percentage of spaces still
that you
available.
Are providing.
And versus the number of spaces you are providing.
Right, exactly, there it is.
Yeah. Because if there's 4,000 available spots and Minecraft is choosing between those and you only have 400 available spots, obviously the 4,000
you're going to get 1 in 10.
Gets preference. You're going to get 1 in 10. Yeah, that makes there we go. That actually makes the maths really easy when you think about it this way.
Yep. Now, if there's one space and you have 400, of course, you know if you missed one button, that's not the end of the world. But over time, that one spot is going to take one every 40 mob, and over time, it's going to take all of them.
Yep. Okay, well, I guess I'll be buttoning for the next few weeks.
You should be done. You could probably be done.
No, because it's finding the little ones, right? Like the little ones that are hiding in the nooks and crannies in the walls and the roofs, and there's little caves and stuff too, right? I mean, I'm predicting 100 beacons per hermit, right, over the course of the season, just as a ballpark estimate, right? Which is approximately, let's round it up to 3,000 beacons, which is 9,000 heads, right?
Right, yeah.
So, that's a lot.
That's a lot, yeah. And you should also see it this way. Other than shopping, this is a monumental task to have done. This is an achievement badge. Like, in fact, when you're done with this, I'm going to pass my achievement badge of the 50k buttons to you. I will award you with an achievement badge when it's done.
Sweet. I'll take it.
There's another incentive.
I'll take it.
Yep.
Sweet. All right. Anyway, man, I gotta get back to buttoning. I'll see you in
Ren diggity dog the button.
Ren diggity button dog. Ren diggity diggity button dog. Ren diggity button dog. So yeah, big thanks to Big Brain Iskall for making me a better Minecrafter this week, and I am now obsessed with buttoning every single spawnable space in that 128 by 128, guys. It's going to happen, and we're going to make Wither Skeletons rain down on HermitCraft Season 10. Oh, it's going to be glorious when that farm is running at full blast. But yes, I don't want to think about buttons today. Let's get to the end and find a way to turn chickens into wither roses. That sounds like a lot more fun, to be honest. Right, welcome back, everybody. It's time to make some wither roses. I've just finished lunch in real life, and I'm hoping to be able to do this without any errors. Don't really want to unleash a wither into the end here. Good news is, other hermits have been spawning the wither down here, so we know exactly where to place the soul sand to make the wither, and we should have everything that we need to make wither roses. Starting with the wither skeleton skulls, managed to collect 9 or so from our skeleton farm this week, which is great. We got splash potions of poison, and of course, as you saw earlier on in the episode, a bunch of chickens. This is how we make wither roses. It's true. I know it seems crazy, but it's a very simple formula. The way that wither roses are created in Minecraft is that the wither needs to kill mobs. And when a mob is killed by a wither, it will drop a wither rose. So the plan is to flood this entire area with chickens, poison them with the splash potion of poison, and then when the wither grows up and actually forms, it explodes, and that explosion damage will hopefully kill the chickens and turn them all into wither roses. Not entirely sure how many chickens we need exactly. I'm just gonna make many, and yeah, I don't even know if they need to be grown up or if they need to be babies. These are all things that I know nothing about. We're doing Minecraft science today, everybody. Hopefully this is gonna work. Also, I don't know about this golem. Hopefully the golem is not gonna die with the poison. But yes, we're gonna have to get in here and poison the chickens at some point too, so yeah, this probably isn't going to go to plan, but hey, it's rainstone. It ain't pretty, but sometimes it works. Right, slight adjustment to the plan, everybody. My brain kicked in and came up with a great idea. It's called a seed. Look at this. We'll be able to gather all the little chickens together with the seed, and this way we can hit them all with the splash potion of poison at the same time. Excellent. I mean, that's quite a lot of chickens. I'm not sure if they need to grow up or not. I guess we can make a couple of beacons to experiment, but I guess we're going to give this a go for the first time. Let's see if we can make some wither roses. We'll splash poison all the chickens. Ow, ow. Ow. The pain in the ears, not great. And I suppose we shall send out a noise warning. Noise warning incoming. And let's spawn our very first wither. There we go. Now, when the wither finally grows up, it will make an explosion. We should probably get out of here, actually. We might take some damage from that. And that should theoretically kill the chickens. Yep. I think the chickens did die. They definitely did die. This is so loud. Oh my goodness. Did we get wither roses? We did. Nice. We didn't get a lot of wither roses. How many did we get there? 56. Okay, we actually got quite a lot of wither roses. That is most excellent. And I suppose we can now help with the destruction of our very first wither. That golem is not really doing much, is he? Come on, golem. Help out, bud. Also, I don't want to hit him, so yeah, that actually worked. 56 nether roses in one little explosion. I guess this was crazy enough to work, and also this is so loud, my ears are literally exploding right now. But we're going to stick with it, because this is going to be our first nether star for Season 10, and our first beacon has thus been kind of created. We still need all the other stuff, but yes, our first nether star. Very, very nice. Let's make some more with the roses. That was super fun. Oh my goodness, guys. I've been waiting for this moment the entire week. I am so excited to get these withered roses installed into our skull factory. And by the way, if you're wondering what this is called Mini Hub. And this is what we use to show the 128 by 128 radius that we need to button up. It just makes life a little bit easier. Else I would be working on this project for, I don't know, a couple of months. And there's lots of other things I'd like to be doing. But yes, as you can see, this giant sphere that renders from Mini Hub will show us exactly where we need to button up to. And, well, it's always quite something to see the buttons in person. Because, yeah, it's kind of ridiculous, really. Don't really want to look too closely at this because it is a reminder of what I have been doing with my life over the last couple of weeks or so. Still a couple of buttons missing, as you can see. But for the most part, this entire place has been buttoned up. In fact, if we have a look at our statistics real quick, we can get a final tally. 55,994 currently placed, and I reckon there's another 2,000 or so that need to be placed, like in these little spots here that I've missed, right? But for the most part, this entire biome has been buttoned up inside of the Mini Hub sphere. Pretty insane. Bad news, though. The golem is dead. Yep, golem has been destroyed at some point, but look how many skeletons are now spawning. Way more than a few days ago, and that is just from the buttoning that I've been doing. Once we add the wither roses in here, it's going to take things to the absolute next level. So, yes, I don't know exactly how we're going to do this. It's a little bit dangerous in there. I suppose best thing to do is go invisible and remove everything to make sure that we don't get caught by them skellies. And maybe just use a bow to dispatch them. I guess we have to figure out what we're putting the wither roses on also. And I was thinking just soul soil is probably a good shout because I don't even know if soul sand will slow down wither skeletons, but just in case it does slow down wither skeletons, let's plant the wither roses on the soul soil. By the way, 2.5 stacks of wither roses from the chicken factory that we did. Very nice. Super exciting. Okay, let's get in there, clear out some of these wither skeletons. We'll have to regrow the golem too. And I suppose it's not going to be as easy as I thought putting the wither roses in because we're going to take damage from them, right? But yes, one thing at a time. Wither skellies need to die first. This is probably going to take a while. This is, yeah, this is kind of awkward. But yeah, first things first, let's do some wither rose placement. Just wanted to check, we definitely cannot place wither roses on the sandstone, which is unfortunate. So we'll have to replace all of the sandstone with soul sand like this, or soul soil, should I say, and then in go the wither roses. And of course, this is going to prevent any other mob other than wither skeletons spawning in this block. The reason for that is when a normal mob will spawn on this block, it will take damage from the wither rose, and so Minecraft will not spawn a mob on that block because the mob will take damage from the wither rose. Or at least that's how I understand it working. I might be wrong, but all I know is wither roses in your wither skull farm will mean only wither skeleton spawning, and that's exactly what we want. Just realized something mildly upsetting, everybody. We do not have enough wither roses to completely fill the platform. In fact, it looks like it's about 2.5 stacks of wither roses per side of the spawning thing. So I need to go make more chickens and make more wither roses and make more beacons, which I guess isn't terrible, but oh man, I was hoping to get this episode out today, but it looks like it's going to be slightly delayed. However, it's going to be great when it's done because I want to see this place kicking off with the wither roses, so I'm gonna get it done, friends. Here we go, last of the wither roses from that first batch. I'm off to make some more chickens and get this thing done. No matter how long it takes, it's gonna happen. Good morning, everybody. Next day in real life, and another 1,000 buttons have been placed over the course of a few hours last night, and you won't believe the incredible impact this has had on our wither skeleton farm. It's actually starting to work the way that I thought it would. Look how many skeletons are down here. I mean, it's not quite at the Enderman farm level where the wither skeletons are just raining down upon us, but look how many skulls I've managed to get just over the course of the last half an hour or so worth of farming. The wither roses have made all the difference. Now only wither skeletons spawn in this platform. And all we need to do now is get the final buttons placed. I mean, it took me about 3 hours to place those last 1,000 buttons, trying to find all the little nooks and crannies around the 128 by 128. There's still loads to find, though. You can see a little skelebutt over there and a pigman over there, right? And once we get rid of all of the spawn spots, this is going to turn into an Enderman farm of wither skeletons. But look at this. You can already see how incredibly effective it has been placing down those 56,000 buttons. What's also fascinating about the button situation we've got out here is that each button we place now is going to have a dramatic impact on the spawn rates. Because the number of potential spawn positions in the biome is shrinking by a percentage each time we place a button, it is dramatically increasing the amount of wither skeletons that are spawning. So I don't know how many buttons are left. I don't know, maybe between 500 and 1,000 are left. But each time we place one, the farm gets better. And I think the next level that we're going to take is by building another platform above and another platform below. That is going to be the maximum number of wither skeleton spawning platforms we can build. But if we can triple up the spawning platforms, this thing is basically going to turn into the Enderman farm of the Nether. And it's going to be completely insane because not only does it generate wither skeleton skulls that we can use to make beacons for our shop, but look how much coal it's making. It's making bones also, which is amazing. So we're getting bone meal, we're getting coal, we're getting beacons, and we're getting profits, all from one stinking farm. And it is absolutely awesome. Guys, I am so incredibly happy about this. It's something that I've never done in Minecraft before. I know a ton of you guys have probably done this before, and maybe it's not that impressive, but to me, having placed over 56,000 buttons and now starting to see the effects of that inside of the spawning chamber, it is just too awesome for words. And all of the strategies with the wither roses and all the grind that we've been putting into this farm, it's all paying off, and the place is starting to kick in. Next episode, we can start working on our beacon shop over at the shopping district, which is going to be super sweet. And for the next couple of weeks, I'll just carry on plugging away on this on stream. But I think for now, we can pretty much say this project is done for the YouTube side of things. And we get to start working on our beacon shop in the next episode. Absolutely amazing. Speaking of which, I'm going to need a bunch of concrete for that shop, so on to the next grind. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Rendog and Hidalgo signing out from the Wither Skeleton Farm, and we will smell you all in the next episode.